how common do you think playing related injuries are amongst, we're talking high level classical players?
John Williams' name always keeps going up to the forefront because he's always astounded me his entire career. He and David Russell are the only two people that I know of that never seem to have experienced any kind of physical disability in playing the guitar. Some of it is the training, some of it is has to go to the talent and the body awareness. And that's the difficulty when you're teaching young students, is that body awareness. Most of them do not come in knowing that body awareness. And they don't think of playing the guitar as you're training the muscles to respond in a specific fashion. They think of repetition as you're developing muscle memory. And you are. But you can develop good muscle memory, and you can develop muscle memory that's going to come back and bite you down the road. And I have to say, I think it's the performance standards. Since the CD came out, it's really easy to make a technically perfect recording. I remember early on in my performing career, I think we were doing our first or second CD. My duo partner and I were bemoaning the fact that we had to do something like, I don't know, it was maybe 50 edits in the entire CD that we were producing at that time. And he started laughing. And he played us this phenomenal recording of a top-level violinist whose name I will not mention. And said, how many edits do you think there are in this piece? It was a 5-minute piece. I said, I know this person's playing. You can't tell me there's more than 2 edits in this thing. He said, you're off by 100%. I said, what? He said, there are 200 edits in this 5-minute thing. I said, what do you mean 200 edits? There's no reason this person needs 200 edits. Yes, well, sometimes there was a little scrape in the bow here that they wanted removed. Sometimes they liked the phrase, the way they played this phrase better than they played that phrase. And then I started talking to other instrumentalists, and I'll go, oh yeah, it's not at all uncommon for us if we're doing a CD, we'll have at least 100 edits. I remember growing up hearing Segovia live numerous times in concert when I was beginning my career. Segovia was never a note-perfect player. Didn't matter. Julian Bream was never a note-perfect player. Didn't matter. These guys were playing music, and you accepted all of this. But, as the 20th century progressed and the recording techniques improved, and particularly with the advent of CDs, now everything people were expecting what they heard on the CDs. When you were recording on vinyl, it was a problem to edit. You were taking a magnetic tape, and you were cutting it with a razor blade, and you had to really line up where on the tape, on the recording head of the machine, you made the cut. And you really had to be really expert as an audio engineer to make these kind of critical edits. I can remember in one of the duos, there was a tremolo passage that I'm playing, and I missed one of the 16th notes. But it was a great take. My partner said, we're going to have to redo this. And the engineer said, no, you don't. And while he's saying, no, you don't, he had spliced out the missed note and replaced it with another one. And that's what the public has learned to expect. Now, we're all dealing with this. When we walk out on the stage to play, we want to play as musically as we can, but we know we have to be technically faultless. The beauty of YouTube for me is it exposes the student to all kinds of performances that would otherwise be not available to them. The downside of it is if they're listening to the wrong performances or reading the wrong comments, they start being influenced by these people who basically are looking at music not as an art form, but as a Olympic event. How fast can you play? So all of these things, in my estimation, contribute to some of the growing trends in performer injuries.